Hello there. Thank you for joining me on 7Edition. I'm Otto Othman, and here are tonight's headlines. Fate of Malaysia Airlines to be decided soon. Over 300 affected by Pasir Gudang toxic fumes. And Ethiopian Airlines black boxes recovered. The widow of Nazrin Hassan and two teenage boys have pleaded not guilty in the Shah Alam High Court to a charge of murdering the Cradle Fund Sdn Bhrd's former CEO last June. The trio were brought to the courtroom today to have their plea recorded before Judge Dato Abdul Karim Abdul Rahman. 44-year-old Samira and the two boys, aged 13 and 16, entered the plea after the charge was read out to them separately in front of the judge. They were charged together with Indonesian national Eka Wahyu Lestari, who is still at large, with the murder of the 47-year-old Nazrin at a house in Mutiara Homes between 11:30 p.m. on June 13, 2018 and 4 a.m. the following day. The charge, under Section 302 of the Penal Code and read in conjunction with Section 34 of the same code, provides for the mandatory death sentence upon conviction. The court did not allow bail for the three and fixed April 11th for case management. The judge also maintained a gag order on the media against releasing information which could expose the identities of the boys, both of whom are minors. Samira and the teens were initially charged at the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court last week. No plea was recorded from them, and the case was later transferred to the High Court.
I can carry this.
Police will look into claims of sexual and physical assault on a juvenile who was charged with the murder of Cradle Fund's ex-CEO Nazrin Hassan. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said this after the boy alleged he was physically and sexually assaulted by inmates while he was held in detention at a probation hostel in Sentul, Kuala Lumpur.
Jadi kalau sekiranya ada dakwaan sedemikian, mestilah kita akan jalankan siasatan untuk mendapatkan situasi sebenar yang mana perkara sedemikian tidak sepatutnya berlaku. Jadi allegation yang dibuat tu akan disiasat dan saya akan mengarahkan ada pihak, I think detention center tu kalau tak silap ada di bawah Kuala Lumpur. Jadi saya akan berhubung dengan Ketua Polis Kuala Lumpur untuk mengambil perhatian tentang perkara yang didakwa tersebut.
Tan Sri Fuzi was responding to a statement by lawyer Hisham Teh Potik, who is representing the boy and another juvenile at the Shah Alam High Court today, urging the court to transfer the boy from the detention center to Punca Alam in Shah Alam, Selangor, following the alleged assault on his client. A Court of Appeals hearing today on Dato Sri Najib Razak's seven criminal charges relating to SRC International Sdn Bhd funds totaling 42 million ringgit has been pushed to Friday. This after the former Premier's lawyer, Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, told appellate judges Dato Zabaria Muhammad Yusof, Dato Lau Bi Lan and Dato Rosaria Bujang that he could not continue with his submission as he recently fractured his left wrist after his pet dog jumped on him. Attorney General Tommy Thomas objected a postponement, but later agreed to Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi's suggestion that the hearing resume on Friday. Dato Zabaria, who led the three-member bench, also agreed. Dato Sri Muhammad Najib faces charges of criminal breach of trust and abuse of power over the scandal. The trial was set to run from February 12th to March 29th, but was postponed due to 4 appeals filed by the defense. In Malacca, 3 friends were charged at the Ayakro Sessions Court today with armed robbery involving a married couple, both senior citizens. The offence was alleged committed in broad daylight on January 6 by the roadside in Taman Malacca Raya. The accused, 24-year-old Muhammad Shahirul Nizam Muhammad Sharif, Muhammad Abdullah Muhammad Noah, age 30, and Sopian Othman, 34, pleaded not guilty when the charge was read to them by a court interpreter before Judge Norma Ismail. According to the charge sheet, the victims, 77-year-old Goh Kim Lee and Lim Lei Hong, age 70, lost their wallet and handbag to the trio. In the 8:30 a.m. incident, which was recorded on CCTV and had gone viral on social media, the victims were seen entering their car at Jalan Malacca Raya 12 when the three men, wearing face masks and each armed with a parang, approached the couple and forced them to hand over their belongings before leaving the scene in a white car. The offence under the Penal Code provides a jail sentence for up to 20 years and fine or whipping upon conviction. The judge set bail at 15,000 ringgit with one surety each and ordered the accused not to approach the prosecution's witnesses and to report in at the nearest police station every month until the disposal of the case. The court also fixed April 11th for remention. In Sarawak, a senior citizen today pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of cheating involving a Liberian job scam. The accused, 60-year-old Dai Sing Kwon, was slapped with the charges at the Cebu Magistrates Court. The offence under the Penal Code carries a jail sentence of up to 5 years or fine or both upon conviction. It was reported that at least 9 people from Betong and Kapit became victims of the scam, in which they were lured into working in Liberia with offers of lucrative logging jobs, which actually never existed. This led to all of them getting stranded in Monrovia since February 4th until they finally returned home on March 3rd with the help of the Malaysian government. The court set bail at 2,500 ringgit for each charge. Magistrate Stella Agustin Drews set March 21st for remention. An online gambling syndicate which have been raking in over R1 million daily by manipulating players was smashed by police following a raid in Klang Selangor yesterday. A total of 10 individuals, including 4 nationals, were arrested when police stormed the syndicate's base of operation at the house in Bandar Parklands at 5:30 p.m. Bukit Aman Anti-Vice Gambling and Secret Societies Division, D7 Principal Assistant Director Dato' Rohaimi Muhammad Isa said the syndicate was headed by a Chinese national. He added checks revealed the syndicate members used the WeChat mobile application to promote their online gambling site and giving out IDs to customers.
MO ni mereka ni lebih merupakan dominate dan manipulasi permainan ni. Contohnya satu terminal yang dijaga oleh seorang daripada ahli sindiket, terdapat 6 atau 7 handphone yang mana dia sendiri bermain satu-satu game tu supaya menarik. Jadi bila seseorang itu tengok website ni dan nak memilih untuk bermain, jadi dia nampak ini ramai orang main ni, ramai yang menang. Jadi dia pun akan join. Padahal yang menang, kebanyakan yang menang dan bermain itu adalah daripada sini. Seorang aja handle sampai 6 telefon.
13 laptops as well as 77 mobile phones were among the items seized by authorities from the house which was used as their call center. He also said the suspects comprised 9 Chinese nationals, including a woman aged between 20 and 40, as well as a 42-year-old local man believed to be the syndicate's middleman. All of them were taken to Klang Selatan Police Headquarters for further action. Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, today expressed his anger towards those responsible for the chemical pollution in Sungai Kim Kim, Pasir Gudang, which affected more than 300 people. In a Twitter post today, he urged the authorities to carry out a thorough investigation into the incident and wanted stern action to be taken against those responsible.
Sultan Ibrahim pointed out that the culprit's irresponsible act had resulted in hundreds, including school children, being rushed to the hospital for treatment, with some battling for their lives in the intensive care unit, ICU. He also advised the residents, especially those who live near the affected area, to be cautious and seek treatment should they feel unwell. Meanwhile, authorities said the number of victims of the toxic fumes has risen to 308 people as of today. State Health Director Dr. Selahuddin Abdulaziz said a second wave took place at noon yesterday, affecting a number of students and members of the public.
The government is considering whether to shut down, sell off or refinance Malaysia Airlines in a bid to resolve the national carrier's financial conundrum. Commenting on the suggestions by several experts on the need to sell or shut down MES, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the matter is being discussed following the heavy losses the airline sustained since it was privatized in 2014.
It's a very serious matter to shut down the national airline. We will nevertheless study the situation as to whether we should shut it down or we should sell it off or whether we should refinance it. All these things are open for the government to decide.
The airline has been trying to transform its operations and return to profitability by 2019 as it recovers from two disasters in 2014. One when flight MH370 disappeared and the other when flight MH17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine. Half of Khazanah Nasional Berhad's 7.3 billion ringgit impairments registered last year were reportedly from sustaining the national carrier. Meanwhile, on the need to trim the number of staff in the civil workforce, which is said to be bloated at 1.7 million people, the Premier said that several government departments may be privatized to house staff members who will be removed from civil service. This among several options being looked into to help sustain jobs for the former staffers.
Kita sedang meneliti untuk menentukan apabila mereka kehilangan jawatan dalam kerajaan, apakah mereka dapat pindah kepada pihak jawatan yang lain di pihak swasta. Kita ada option untuk menyediakan untuk memindahkan pegawai-pegawai ke swasta, pihak swasta, dan kita boleh swastakan beberapa jawatan, beberapa department dalam kerajaan, seperti mana kita lakukan kepada telekom dulu. Kita jadikan telekom itu private dan kita pindahkan pekerja-pekerja. Ini pilihan mereka. Kalau mereka nak masuk dalam telekom semua boleh, stay with the government pun boleh.
He said the government had introduced a similar drive in 1983 that touched on the functions of the private sector in nation development and had reduced the financial burden while improving efficiency and quality of work. This stimulated economic growth and improved the effective distribution of resources. According to Tun Dr. Mahathir, the number of civil servants stood at about 1 million when he resigned in 2003, but the figures continued to rise to about 1.7 million people. He added that if the situation was not controlled, the high cost of management expenditure for the government will continue to take a big chunk from the country's national budget each year, slowing down economic growth. The results of the 5G test bed and trials will be shared with the multi-stakeholder 5G task force in a report due to be released in the fourth quarter of this year. Communications and Multimedia Minister Gobind Singh Dio said the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC's) National Fiberization and Connectivity Plan (NFCP) has set a target of gigabit speed internet service.
The NFCP, ladies and gentlemen, also sets a target of gigabit speed internet services for selected higher impact and strategic industrial areas in this country by the year 2020, and all state capitals by the year 2020. This is to ensure that areas where there are high use cases for 5G will be ready for network deployment when the standards have been finalized.
He said this at the Digital Innovation Conference in Kuala Lumpur today. Concurrently, the MCMC is also coordinating 5G testbed and trials from April to October 2019. And results from this exercise will be shared with the task force for inclusion into their report. Meanwhile, the minister also said the call for news portals to moderate comments is not meant to curtail civil liberties. Gobin said this in response to the many complaints he received concerning the use of social media, particularly in relation to comments on portals, including news portals. In a statement today, he clarified that the move was rather to maintain decorum and avoid expression which promotes inflammatory remarks that may impact the security of the nation. Such posts or comments, according to Gobin, should be avoided, and this can be achieved through self-regulation and help from the portals themselves. He also said asking portals to moderate the content in their comment sections is not unreasonable. In essence, it reinforces the fact that the government upholds the right to free speech but reiterates at the same time the need for responsibility to be attached to it. He further stated that this will also be discussed with the relevant stakeholders and soon-to-be formed Media Council on the matter. When we come back, man accidentally drinks acid while gaming. The details next. Welcome back. Let's hop on to our daily segment, Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Now, we have all heard stories on how video games can ruin someone's life simply because it is addictive. Now, in this case, a 20-year-old man from India was so engrossed in his PUBG match that he mistakenly drank acid, thinking it was water. Now, this really almost ended his life as he barely survived the horrific incident.
It is reported that at the time of the incident, a bottle of acid was near his reach before he drank the toxic substance by accident while having his eyes fixed on the game. He was then immediately rushed to the hospital. Fortunately, the doctor who was in charge of his surgery stated that the man's stomach was full of ulcers and is slowly recovering from the surgery. The incident has also resulted in the man losing as much as 6 kilograms in a few days, as he was unable to eat anything due to his severe condition. However, the young adult did not seem to have learned his lesson, as he would neither stop playing games nor watching movies on his phone during treatment.
Now, updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. The government has successfully issued the Samurai Bond with oversubscription of more than 1.6 times at 324.7 billion yen against 200 billion yen offered, according to Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng during the Q&A session at the Dewan Rakyat sitting earlier today. The oversubscription of the yen-dominated bonds was a testament of confidence on the country's economy by various Japanese institutions and investors.
Ini adalah sesuatu terbitan yang di antaranya yang paling berjaya oleh sebuah kerajaan asing di negara Jepun. Dan saya rasa ini menunjukkan keyakinan pihak dana kewangan asing di Jepun ke atas Malaysia. Dan pada masa yang sama, sungguh pun kadar kupon kita anggarkan 0.65%, tapi dapat pun diturunkan kepada 0.63%.
The Samurai Bond was guaranteed by the Japan Bank for International Cooperation, JBIC, for a maturity tenure of 10 years. Proceeds from the issuance would be used to fund infrastructure developments, including the construction of schools, hospitals, roads, and utilities. Meanwhile, Lim said the government was trying to restore Malaysia's economy to enable it to lower the corporate tax within 3 years. For small and medium enterprises with paid-up capital of 2.5 million ringgit and below, the corporate tax had been successfully lowered to 17% from 18% previously.
Ada cukai korporat pada masa itu. Di samping itu ada banyak skim pinjaman yang telah pun dihulurkan kepada pihak perniagaan. Dan semua langkah-langkah tersebut telah membolehkan keyakinan pulih di kalangan pelaburan luar negara.
After the break, heavy floods in Brazil kills at least 12. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. At least 12 people have died and 6 others hurt in floods caused by torrential rain in and around Sao Paulo on Monday. The late summer rains have submerged several neighborhoods and blocked major arteries into the sprawling metropolis, cutting train and bus services in some areas. Local authorities reported 4 members of one family died in Ribeirão Pires town when a house collapsed around midnight. While 1 person was killed in a landslide in Ebu das Artes, 7 others were reportedly drowned in numerous areas around the country's biggest city and financial capital. Firefighters had to rescue several people stranded by the water and mud as heavy rain led to massive mudslides in parts of the city. Rain is forecasted for at least another 2 days. A member of South Korean K-pop band Big Bang, Lee Seung-hyun, or better known as Seungri, announced his retirement from the entertainment industry following the revelation of his alleged involvement in a sex bribery case that has swept the country. The 29-year-old star is currently under investigation for brokering prostitution for investors and has been booked without physical detention by police. Seungri is accused of lobbying potential investors by providing prostitutes at multiple nightclubs in Seoul's posh Gangnam district. He is also linked to an ongoing police case over Burning Sun, a nightclub where he was a public relations director, for multiple investigations into illegal narcotics use and sexual assault. The singer announced his retirement through his Instagram account yesterday, adding that he would cooperate with investigations into the accusation. He also apologized to his fans and said he had been branded a traitor to the nation. Many fans have already turned their backs on him and signed a petition last week urging Seungri's expulsion from Big Bang, saying he had caused unrecoverable damage to the group's reputation. Last month, the Big Bang singer denied procuring prostitutes when media said he had been involved in sex bribery. Nike unveiled the new Women's World Cup jerseys that players from international soccer teams will sport at a fashion show in Paris recently. Take a look at the designs as we wrap up 7 Edition this evening. I'm Otto Othman. Thanks for watching and good night.